Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, all dear viewers. Welcome to my show, it's Sports Talk. Your host Hussain Mahmood, presenting live on UCTV. Many thanks for all your support and encouragement. Please continue to like, share and comment on our media content we're publishing, and subscribe to UCTV for ongoing notifications. We've completed 11 episodes so far, and we're getting closer to getting to know why we are not yet seeing British South Asians breaking into top flight football. All episodes are up on demand on Facebook, fan page Sports Talk TV and UCTV YouTube with the green logo. Watch, like and share your views. We're breaking the mould and we're making the change happen. The topic we're pressing needs attention, so Sports Talk provides a platform to give our youth hope that they need and added intelligence on and off the pitch so that they could advance in their development and break through into top flight football. Diversity, equality and a fair qualification system being our number one agenda. We've learnt so much so far and have brought people who have shed their light and experience ranging from referees to ex-professional footballers, and we are most definitely getting closer to breaking the mould and making the change happen. I need you, and we need this change to happen, because one man can achieve great things, but a team can achieve incredible things. Power of the people. Having said that, currently football for all senior and junior leagues have been called off in the East Lancs, as health bosses had promised to try and get children back playing football early in the new year. After Christmas, matches in East Lancashire were suddenly cancelled by the Lancashire FA. This decision affects 900 teams and around 27,000 players. Lancashire FA Chief Exec Simon Gerrard said although COVID-19 infections are decreasing across the county, it remains incredibly prominent in some parts of Lancashire and continues to take the lives of a number of affected people. Alongside myself today, I have my guest, Darwin Bourne, with spells as a youth at Blackburn Rovers and Bury FC. He spent 3 seasons playing in the Finnish second division, returning in 1984 to home soil. His career involves playing with the packed 80,000 Jinnah Stadium in Pakistan in February 1989 on his international cap for Pakistan. On his return to UK, Mr Javed Khan went on to play for Darwin and Clitheroe in the North West Counties Leagues, a standard he believes wasn't far from the international football he had experienced. Now, 52, Khan is the head of sports and leisure of Preston City Council and plays veteran football for West Disbury. Now coming from Manchester, he's achieved the status of UEFA A licensed coach, involved with Football Scout Association and a tutor of PFSA. So, without further ado, let's bring in our very own Javed Khan, aka Jimmy, and let's talk sports. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Javed Khan. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
MashaAllah, thank you very much for coming on to the show first and foremost.
No, my pleasure.
It's a real pleasure to have you. After reading some of your bio, I've got to say I'm really impressed. MashaAllah, I think you've done absolutely brilliant, and you've also continued your passion for the sport as life moves forward. So, first of all, Javed, I kind of want to get straight in, if you will. I'm alright to call you Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy's the name that even my parents call me.
All right, okay.
It's the official name for passports and documents.
That's the document. So, Jimmy, if I may then, can you just tell me a bit about how your sport, or how your passion for the sport kind of started? And where did it start from for you?
Probably the earliest memory I have of it is of me playing football or watching football, and it was in the streets. I have to correct you. You kindly said I was 52, but I'm 57.
Oh, right, okay.
So for those people
my bad.
that know me, they'll know I'm telling lies. So let's start off with the truth. Yeah, 57 years young. Yeah, I'm passionate about football from a very, very early age. Courts down, everybody plays football. You're playing against adults, you're playing against older siblings.
Mixed bunch of lads.
It was just, yeah, we were watching it on telly. Match of the Day was the programme that everybody watched. Football was a passion for us from an early age.
Yeah.
Black and white television.
What team did you support? Which team have you always supported?
Blackburn Rovers were my hometown. I always have a soft spot for Blackburn Rovers, but they were languishing in Division 2. But Liverpool are the team that I followed religiously, Kevin Keegan days. I even had a shaggy perm too, and the sheepskin coat.
The good old days.
The good old days. The good old days.
Good. So, did you start off? I mean, back in the days, what year are we talking here when you first kind of?
So I was born in '63.
Yeah.
Probably early '70s. I got into football. We went to Pakistan by road. Some of your younger viewers will probably think, really, why did they do that when they had planes? But it was difficult to get, journeys on planes. They were expensive. So my brother was getting married. I was 10-year-old. We packed up the car, brothers and sisters. There was about 8 of us in this Ford Cortina, and we drove to Pakistan.
The good old days, for sure.
The good old days. And when I got to Pakistan, they were playing football tournaments out there, and they said, "Do you want to play?" And at the time, I played out a little bit, but I was also a goalkeeper. So I said, "Yeah, a goalkeeper." So I went in goals, and they were having these competitions, and people came from miles to see this mad English boy, Pakistani stroke English boy, diving on tarmac. So it was odd, but I just threw myself around because I love playing football.
Because I was going to say that, there's hard ground there, isn't it, really?
It was all,
really get
so
a groundsman as such.
The pitch was made up. It was the middle of a street. Headlights were what was lighting up.
The car headlights.
Some makeshift goals put in, and then they just played tournaments, which was really good for the kids.
Right, excellent. And so, did you stay out there for a while? Did you?
We stayed there for 6 months. So my brother got married out there. We stayed there for 6 months. Then I came back to England, joined my primary school, and the school teacher said, "What position do you play?" I said, "Well, I can play anywhere. You tell me where you want me to play." So he said, "Well, just play out." So I played out. And unbeknown to me, as I was growing up from 7, 8, 9, I was playing with older siblings. And I was better than I actually knew I was against my own age group, my own peers. And I happened to be one of the better players in the team. So from there I stayed, played out, became the captain of the primary school team. We only had about 3 months left of the school year. So I was the captain, and then I went to secondary school, and I met my mentor, my PE teacher, Mr. Cook. And believe it or not, we're still friends.
This is in Darwin?
This is in Darwin,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, born and bred Darwin.
Yeah.
Went to Darwin, I went to St John's Primary School, and then went to Moorland Secondary School. And became my mentor, Phil Cook. He saw something in me, made me the captain. Even at age 11, 12, he was letting me pick the school football team. And then he said, when I was about 14, he said, "Do you know what, you should be playing higher level than you are, Jimmy." So he wrote to all these football teams to say, "I've got an excellent football player. I think you should come and have a look at him." So I got invitations to go and have trials with Man United, with Liverpool, Crystal Palace, all over the country.
Like straight off the bat, I mean...
He just sent out, he said, "I've got a fantastic football player, I've been a PE teacher this long,
Yeah.
I'm a qualified football coach, you need to come and have a look at this kid."
Okay,
So
you got good responses back pretty much straight away?
Oh, we got about 14, 15 responses back to say, "All right, well, we'll have a look, where is he playing, can he come down for trials?" And as luck would have it, the first trial I got invited to was Blackburn Rovers. So I went and I had a trial match at Blackburn Rovers, and I played really well.
A trial, so is that good? Do no tests or nothing like that? No off? No, game time?
So back in the day, there was no academies, there was no centres of excellence, there was nothing. You could only sign for a football team at 14.
Okay.
So all this is below that has come in since
Okay.
to try and develop football. So I went for this trial, and I played really well. And straight after the game, they said, "Well, we want to sign you on." So I was signed on. My dad was at work; he couldn't make it. So my older brother came with me, and Howard Kendall was the manager of Blackburn Rovers at the time. Do you remember Howard Kendall?
I don't. I was just going to ask you.
Are you going to say that?
I was
really?
just no. I don't. I'm afraid I don't remember because I was born in 1985 for one. Who were the players were playing at the time? I mean,
so Howard Kendall was the manager. People like Glenn Keeley around at the time, Nick Heaton, those sorts of players. Derek Fazaculi.
I've got to say, they all got on top of me.
Stuart Metcalf. Well, some of your older viewers will know
definitely.
These were legends. Stuart Metcalf sadly just passed away not recently. People like Noel Brotherston. We had a fantastic team. Blackburn had a really good team, and Howard Kendall was a star. When you watch Everton, they've named a stand after Howard Kendall. He was the manager that managed them when they won the league title. Gary Lineker played for him and all sorts. So a proper legend. Anyway, he was a Blackburn legend as well.
At the time.
So he signed me, and I thought I'd made it. Flipping out Blackburn Rovers. So I ignored all the other people that wanted me. I just thought, well, it's my hometown club. I'm a bit of a home bird. I don't really want to travel. So I was at Blackburn for 2 years. Sadly, when the time came for me to become an apprentice, Blackburn had this policy where they liked to bring players over from Ireland to play for them, and they'd rather give them apprenticeships. So,
is there any particular reason for that?
I don't know. I just think that they thought that there was
it
because I live local. They thought, well, Jimmy's not going to go anywhere. We don't have to keep him here all the time. We can. So they said, we want to sign you non-contract. So still play for us, but you won't have an apprenticeship. And I thought, I quite fancy an apprenticeship. So no, I'm not happy about that. I thought I deserved it. I thought I played really well in the position I was in. So what they said was, well, you've got two choices, Jimmy. You can either be non-contract, stay with us and play in the reserves and the A team, or you can go and find another club. As it happened, Bury Football Club had been watching me. They were probably on a par with Blackburn back then. And they said, well, why don't you come for a trial with us? What we do is all the players that have been released by clubs, we get them all together, and you'll play against our existing A team. So I did that. My dad took me over to Bury, and I scored in the game. I scored a fantastic goal. I still remember it today. And straight after the game, they said, we want to sign you on. They said, we've got players here that have been released by United and Liverpool and Everton, but you shone the brightest amongst them.
Yeah.
So we want to sign you on. Are you up for it? I went, yeah. So I signed for Bury Football Club, and I had another 2 years there, which was fantastic. It was an apprenticeship because they couldn't afford it, but I really enjoyed my football more than I enjoyed at Blackburn, I have to say.
Okay, so that sounds great. I mean, apprenticeship, is that getting paid? Is that?
You would equate it to the scholarship now, or YTS. Some younger viewers but you got paid peanuts. You had to polish everybody's boots. You had to sweep up everything. Right. But you were at the club. You were
part of the club. You got it.
And I think a lot of players that don't do that lose out as a result of that. That is humbling. That makes you feel part of the club. These young players that come in getting big contracts, they're driving big cars around. They don't understand what the professional football is. The hard work.
On and off the pitch. So what I did was I was at Bury, and then I carried on studying. So I was in the sixth form, and then I went to college. But I was playing football as well. So I was travelling over to Bury 4 times a week. My dad took me twice, and I caught the bus twice, which wasn't easy from Darwin. No. To catch the bus to Bolton, you had to wait half an hour, and then catch another bus to Bury, and then get to the stadium. I take it this is in the evening training session. Some of them.
Well, 2 evenings were evenings, and then Saturdays we played the matches, and then Sundays sometimes they got us in for some strength and conditioning.
So you're getting home around about 10, 11 o'clock, dark.
Dark when I set off and dark when I got home.
British weather.
Great British weather. When I was learning to drive, I was driving to Bury, but I don't know whether you know the journey from Darwin to Bury or over the old Roman road.
Yes, I do, yeah.
But when it's snowing, that there's just one lane.
It's one lane,
treacherous, so that's where I learned
and
to drive.
If you get a tractor or anything
you were done. You were late. You were late for
45 minutes, you just followed this long queue, aren't you?
You were late for training.
Great. So what happened from there then, Jimmy? I mean, you've got Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
You've had a full feel of this.
The
whole team, the squad, right? Yeah. Everybody involved.
Listen, really proud of wearing the Blackburn Rovers shirt every time you put it on. Played some great teams all over the northwest. Really, we didn't go any further afield than that. Then went to Bury and experienced something similar. Loved it. Played in the stadium regularly. Had good runs in the FA Youth Cup. Got to the quarterfinals of that. No, I really loved it. But when it came to the end of the 2 years, it was a time that
decision time.
Do we sign you on or do we not? By then, Bury had dropped divisions. They were in the bottom division. Not a lot of expenses. So they actually disbanded the reserve team as well. So that didn't make things easy. So then I had an opportunity to do something else, and I decided that football was for me, and I was confident in my ability. And an opportunity came for me to go and play in Finland. So I went out and played for a team called Joenkoski Purkiva. Honestly, I have to say...
You've done really well. I'm not even going to try, man.
Joenkoski Purkiva. So finished second division.
Good standard?
Amazing standard. Really, really good.
Was it matched to the Blackburn and the Bury?
Probably more matched to the Bury than Blackburn. So Blackburn, because I was younger, I was playing in the A team. At Bury, I was
playing the senior team.
In the reserves.
Okay.
In the A team.
Right.
But I was playing with adults, so it was good football, and they were passionate about their football. Because of the climate over there, it's only 4 months of a season. It's called the land of the midnight sun because in the summer it's light all the time.
Yeah, light.
In winter it's virtually dark all the time apart from an hour. But they treated me like a superstar out there.
Yeah, straight after that.
I couldn't pay for anything.
I'm just thinking now, Joe, I'm listening to you, and our show here, the Sports Talk programme, is about our youth today, and we're trying to get as much insight from our guests. Of course, you've got wealth of knowledge, experience, first-hand experience. You know what it's like to be in the running, and you know what tough competition is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand for our youth is why we're not seeing British South Asians get into top-flight football.
Okay.
From your bio and your your kind of introduction to the show, is kind of telling me you're straight into Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah.
No issue.
Yeah.
Moving on, you've chose yourself that maybe Blackburn Rovers is not the right move for you, so you yourself have made that decision to move over to Bury, and you've got 2 seasons which you're happy with at Bury.
Yeah.
And then by choice, you've gone to the Finnish League.
Yeah.
So the question really for me is, what is our struggle? So whilst you're going through Blackburn and Bury, and before you got to Finland, how did you feel in terms of the rest of the team? How did you feel in the squad? How was you kind of made to fit?
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit about that? I mean, in terms of a culture, because surely there's a bit of a culture clash. And talking from back in the day as well, there's different kind of. We're a lot more advanced now because of technology and because of we're a little bit more comfortable, you'd say. But what was it like then?
Okay, so to me, when my mum and dad came to Darwin, where I was born, we were the first Asian family there. There might have been 1 or 2 others dotted about, but hardly any. So I behaved and spoke like anybody else. The only difference was my colour. So it was never an issue for me. Never an issue, because everything I was saying, everything I was doing was like
part of the system,
like an English person.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
I've done a lot. It's only coincidence that you're talking about opportunities for young people. But I've done a lot of work with the FA. I actually helped set up the FA Asians in Football Working Party, National Working Party. I worked with an author called Jazz Baines, who wrote a book, Corner Flags and Corner Shops. So he had a chapter in his
Sounds
book.
like an interesting book.
It's a really good book. It's only a penny. You can get it for nothing virtually, but it's a really good book. Back in the day, he did a lot of work around. I think one of his pieces of work was Asians can't play football. It was a play off white men can't jump. It was a bit like that.
Okay.
Tongue in cheek, really. So my concern, round about 94, 95, I said to the FA, listen, so by then I was... So when the football didn't work in Finland, after year 3, my dad said, look, it's not working out for you, Jim, you need to get a proper job. Play football if you want, but you need to get a proper... So I came back to England and I got a job working as a football coach with Blackburn Council. So with that, I helped lads play football, play all different sorts of sports.
Different parts of the
making
game.
them more physically active, all them sorts of things. And then I got a job working for Bolton Council in 91 when my oldest son was born. Really good year. In 91, Omar was born. I got a new job in Bolton as a sports development officer, And I also got my A licence as a full badge as a football coach, as the first Asian in the country to be an A licence coach.
Oh, mashallah, you was the first, was you?
I'm the first.
Excellent.
Groundbreaking.
There you have it, viewers. We have the first of the kind sat right in front of us.
So with my head into coaching, so I love being involved in football. If I wasn't a coach, I'd have been a referee. I just wanted to be involved in football. But from a very early age, I was passionate about opportunities for others. You know, if it worked for me, and then I thought back, I didn't play against any Asians. So why is that then? Why am I the only one? So I was asking the FA these questions, what's going on? So they went, well, it's funny you should say that, Jim. Euro 96 is coming up. It's in England. England thought they weren't going to do very well, so they said, right, will you come and talk at we've got an international conference, will you come and talk about your experiences, a little bit like we're doing today.
Okay.
So they wanted me to talk about where the next Asian player is going to come from.
Where it come from, sure.
Because they were saying we're going to get battered by the press, because the press are going to say, why have we done so bad? So, unfortunately, or fortunately, England did really well. That's the one where we got to semi-finals.
Is that the kind of Southgate?
That's the Gascoigne one.
Oh, Gascoigne one, okay, right. Not the miss, the kind of Southgate miss at the penalty. It's not that one, is it?
It's the one we got knocked out in the semi-finals.
Right.
It might have been that one.
I think
the Gascoigne was Italian 90, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So it was the Southgate one and the Waddle one. They both missed, didn't they?
Absolutely, yes.
And they got advertisements for
bad press all over.
That's right.
Terrible press.
So I was all prepped to do this work to say where the next Asian was going to come from, what I thought was the way forward. And as it happened, we were doing really well in the tournament, and the only questions that people really had was, why is the refereeing so bad? Because everybody was getting yellow cards for this, that and the other. That's missed the point a little bit. But the point is that the FA took it very serious and said, we need to get a working party together. We need to well, they commissioned me to do a piece of work for it.
Break the mould?
Break the mould, and where's our next generation of footballers going from? The sad thing is that was flipping almost 25 years ago, and we're asking exactly the same questions now. So in that period of time, not enough has been done to bridge the gap.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
People have asked me many, many times, what are the reasons why? Why have we not got more Asians playing football? I actually don't think it's racism. I don't think any club worth their salt would ever say no to a talented football player. They could be green. If they're good at them, they'll have them, because the ones that come up with the first one will be the ones that sells all the shirts and make up. So I think racism's not part of it. I think there's some part of you've got to be tenacious. You've got to, you're going to get some knockbacks. There's famous stories about David Platt getting knockbacks. Robbie Savage getting knocked back. Lots of players have had knockbacks, but if they believe in themselves, they go lower and lower and lower, and then they come back in. Don't give up. So I know that
sometimes you've got to lose the battle to win the war, kind of thing.
That's a really good quote. That's what sometimes you have to do. You just got to be determined and believe in yourself. Nothing will just be given to you. Well, maybe a couple of people can get by without training, without commitment, but not many. You've got to be very special to do that.
Few and far between there. Drake, I'd love to carry on with that and continue with that.
Okay.
We've got to take a short break.
Okay.
Viewers, stay tuned with us. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome back. It's your host Hussain Mahmood with my special guest appearance today, Mr. Javed Khan aka Jimmy. Just before the break we was analysing, just talking about exactly how Jimmy has seen his career and what kind of encouragement he's kind of giving to the youth and where the gaps are and how we could bridge this gap and bridge the South Asian into top flight football. Jimmy, sorry, you were saying?
Well, I was just saying that racism, I don't think, is the main issue. It might be in some cases, but not the main issue. I think the players need to be a bit more passionate, a bit more
a bit more drive from inside.
Yeah, but
do you feel sometimes that we pick out the R card and say, oh, well, no, it's or I don't want to put 100% in because of.
I don't think it's people don't want to put 100% in. I think what happens is. So our communities like to play football within themselves.
Within themselves, absolutely.
So every year I've played in those communities. I played in a pirate football league around here before they were allowed in to play competitive football. And every week there was a fight at the end of it. And one of my friends usually started the fight because he was sticking up for me getting kicked off everybody. But what we need to do is parents need to support the child.
Okay, so is that where the upstream is here, do you think, the parenting?
I think our parents want our kids to be doctors, solicitors,
lawyers, academic,
all of that sort of stuff, which is good. It's a really good thing. The trouble is we haven't got a role model up there that shows our parents that a career in football can work.
Yeah.
You know, in cricket, parents will say, because Imran Khan and Javed Miandad and all these others greats, they can show, and our ancestry is all about cricket, hockey, squash,
national sport, absolutely.
But not football. Nobody's made it at football. So concentrate. So we need some support from parents. We need support from parents to take them to football, pick them up. So my dad did that. That's why I think I could get to Bury, I could get to Blackburn, because my dad would take me in the car, or sometimes he'd take me in the car.
But the encouragement was there. He was a kind of involved, hands-on kind of thing.
He came to watch sometimes, and that made me feel good. Not always. My mum's probably never seen me play football, but certainly my dad, my older brother came to watch me play football. So we need support from the parents and elder siblings. The other thing is this training's really important. You don't just become a good footballer because you're a good footballer. You've got to train. You've got to keep them levels high. And if
practice makes perfect.
Well, practice helps to make permanent, not perfect.
Okay.
I think with repetition. So if some of the young viewers want some advice, it's practice, and then practice some more. But it's really important that you don't give up, you believe in yourselves, and you know the opportunities will be there for you.
That's great. That's really, really great. I hope that our viewers could take all of that information in and kind of feel that drive and feel that passion, because practice, even if you're not an absolutely talented player. And then I do want to go on this because in our British South Asians, let's say Pakistanis for example, right, in our communities we try to get recognition within the community only. So when you get 10 of your friends saying, oh, that guy's a really good player, the way he moves the ball around, never seen any, and kind of he limits his ambition. Because his appraisal is from his community, I think and I feel our competition is within. And would you say that therefore we need to kind of break out of that mould and start to test ourselves on, wider playing ground, really?
Yeah.
Is that another one of our are we short-sighted?
A little bit. It's called being in the comfort zone. So our communities at the point I was trying to make earlier, and I lost my way a little bit, but the point was these presentation nights, the trophies are getting bigger and bigger, and you can't be walking out with a big trophy for Player of the Year. Or why would you want to leave that club and go and play in a team where you might not even get in every week? Why would you? So it's that comfort zone. So I understand. My point is that you have to test yourselves against better players. So the community football is good here, but then we need to go into this football here, which is more organised football, and then from there you might need to go and play at the next level up, which might be Blackburn Rovers reserves or B team or somewhere like that, test yourself against the best players, not against your friends or the local community where you'll be running rings round them.
All day, every week, in and out. And then, but we're not getting anywhere from there, are we?
Well, what I found is that when one of them will get picked, go and have a trial at Man United, go and have a trial at Liverpool. There's lots of people that said, oh yeah, we had a trial at Liverpool. It was no good, nobody passed me. So they go to Liverpool or Blackburn or Everton, and then they come back and say, it was rubbish, not got picked, they've dropped me. But you're going into a team where nobody knows you, they've all been best friends.
Yes.
So that they're not passing you the ball because they don't know you. So you've had a bad experience. Now you've gone back and you've told all your friends they're rubbish at United, they're racist, or they didn't pass the ball to me, or whatever it was, and then
you've dampened it, haven't you? Really?
Yeah, they dampened it.
Killed it.
And then others say it's a waste of time them going because he went.
He went. And they were really good.
Yeah.
And
it's sad. It really is sad, and it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. You believe you're not going to make it, so therefore you're not going to make it.
Bit of a kamikaze there.
A little bit. But there's talent there. We haven't to lose sight that there's talent there, and the reason why I got involved as a coach was to harness that talent. You know, can I pluck out? And I also worked on our own community to become coaches. So I wanted to be a bit of a role model for our Asian community to go and coach, so that you can teach them the right things to do. So a big problem with some of our Asian boys and girls is that they're being taught by people who aren't qualified, and therefore they're learning the wrong techniques. And once at that early age, when you're learning the techniques, once that becomes habit, it's difficult to get out of it.
Bad habits die hard.
Yeah, they do.
Quite unfortunate, and that's the kind of career that you've chosen there. Can we talk a bit more about that, Jimmy? Because I want to kind of let our viewers know, and we've had a conversation off camera as well, and I've been very intrigued, very interested, and I couldn't praise you enough for what you're doing. Alhamdulillah, your vision, your passion, and opening channels and realising that football is not just about kicking the ball around and being fit and being up amongst the best to score goals or holding that position. It's all about upstairs as well, isn't it, Jimmy? It's about keeping your composure, determination, consistency. You've heard it yourself, practice, practice and practice. We need more coaches. We need an example, or we need a role model to look at and say, okay, what are we doing wrong here? How can we better ourselves? We had Adnan on the show previously. He was an ex-Pakistani player as well. Right. You talked a lot about levels within levels. Yeah. Just as you kind of explained it there in short and snippets, really. It's a big topic, but you've kind of covered it quite quickly. Yeah. I understand the depth of that conversation, where really you're playing in your community as level A, then you're going into Blackburn Rovers, level B, then within Blackburn Rovers you'd have the elite squad, and then you're constantly testing yourself and putting yourself amongst the mix. Yeah. Now them guys have been there for a long time already, and you're just going into this team. Yeah. So it's not a gimme, is it? Let's be honest. Everybody wants 6-figure salaries. Everybody wants to be recognised. So why should anybody just be given anything if they've not worked hard for it? Yeah. So what I'd like to really know next is, how do we tune our youth? How do we build a community? How do we encourage our superstars from a coaching perspective? And what can we do more to get more coaches involved? So
that's a really big question. So the first part of it, the importance of coaching is to make sure that the techniques are right. Football, you're right, it's not just about kicking a ball about. So at the FA, when we're tutoring, we talk about the 4 corners. So we talk about the physical corner, what you look like. We talk about the psychological corner, what you're thinking. There's the technical corner, and there's the tactical corner.
Okay.
So there's 4 areas to look at, and if you think about each of them individually, unless all 4 are at 100%, you're going to struggle to make it. So if you come home from school and you've had a bad day at school and you're getting in trouble at home, and then you come to training, you're in a bad mood and you don't put it in, then there's something not right. But that's what happens with a lot, even professional footballers. You look at the 4 corners. If one of them's not working, then you could be in a lot of trouble. So what I would say is that there's all facets to the game. You've got to eat the right food as well.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's really important. My youngest, he's at Stoke City. He's at the academy.
Youngest son.
My youngest, 14-year-old Isaac.
What's his name?
He's called Isaac.
Isaac Khan.
Isaac Khan.
One to watch out for.
One to watch out. Little lefty.
Little lefty.
He's a really good one.
Isaac Khan, I've got my eyes on you, kid. Inshallah.
So, he's been at Stoke City since he was 10. He's 14 now, and he's been given another 2-year contract to take him to 16, and then they'll decide. You know, like I was, that apprenticeship, that scholarship, they'll decide then. So this is an interesting fact for you viewers. For children from the age of 9 to 16, less than 1% of them make it to the first team. Less than 1%. So they might have been there from 9 to 16. Less than 1% of them get kept in that football club. So it's a difficult gig to get. It really is, and that's really why it's important. And
typically, how many players would you have trying to get to that 1%? How many players
so
in the mix?
A squad would have 18, 19, 20 players in it, and each year players get dropped, new players come in, players get dropped, new players come in. So Isaac's done really well. That he's been there since he was 10. Prior to that, he was at Man City. Then he was at Man United before that. But
very good, mashallah. Talented kid.
Really talented kid.
Mashallah.
But this is the real crux of it. Your education is really important. That academic side to back up. So be a footballer, put everything you want to be into that, but your backup is your education, and that's the best advice I could give anybody.
No, that's a very, very interesting. That's new on our show. That's a brand new topic, brand new area, education. Is that any education? Are you just saying GCSEs, A levels?
All of it.
Yeah, not particularly sports education or.
No. Your academic studies are really important. Please nobody switch off, because you never know when you might need it. So I had a fantastic career, and I wouldn't change any of it. But if I hadn't got a sound education, I wouldn't be. You said I was the head of sport, unless I was until a couple of years ago. I'm at the University of Central Lancashire now, leading on sport there. But without that education, I wouldn't have been able to do all the things that I'm currently doing.
Okay, all right. So are you saying that from a point of view then, if I may ask, are you saying that from, let's say, as a contingency plan to your football career,
Always.
To keep your, much like a 2-horse race or a 3-horse race, keep your horses running kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or are you saying education has a role to play in your football game also? I mean, are we talking expansion? Because when I'm thinking positional play, and I'm thinking control and composure, I'm thinking you need education. You need some, you need to be expansive in your thinking to be able to adapt that type of personality or character. So
I think your education definitely will help you with that. The difference, I would say, so your education is to back up not just your second choice, third choice, fourth, but maybe your fifth and the sixth. So have your education, it backs up your football, because the likelihood is that you won't make the football.
Right, okay.
Football,
so and then that's come back to the 1%.
Then it's come back to, but in terms of what you're saying to do with your
excuse me,
football prowessness, that's about awareness. That's about being aware of what's on the pitch. I wouldn't say that's education. That's just about being aware. It's about, so in training, the ball comes in, you control it. It's being able to control it first time. So there's a really good story about Steven Gerrard at Liverpool, and they were talking to Peter Crouch about playing for Liverpool. What was it like? And he said, "Oh my God," he said, "I'd played at all these clubs. I thought I was a really good pro. Got to Liverpool. Steven Gerrard knocked this ball into me. It was the hardest pass, and he expected it to be laid out. And if you didn't lay it off exactly right for his run, he went nuts. He said we were frightened to death." But that, even at that highest level, your awareness about where people making runs, timing of the pass, all them sort of things are about you being astute rather than your education. But I understand what you were saying. Yeah,
okay, yeah. You've got to be aware on the pitch, basically,
absolutely.
fully there. Your mind's got to be on the job.
Yeah, and then the other part of your question was around encouraging coaches.
Yes.
And the importance of having role models that can play, that are aware of the play, means that you're seeing somebody else that looks like you, sounds like you, telling you what to do. And I think that's really key, that we have more role models as coaches. That, you know, the level 4 that I've got is the highest level you can get. The next one up would be, if I wanted to be a manager of a Premiership club, I'd have to do the pro licence, but only the professional clubs.
That's in your coaching, yeah?
Yeah.
So what kind of, what's alongside all what you've mentioned so far, I mean, you've got your kid there, Isaac, mashallah, who's doing really well by the sounds of it. He's a lefty, and I love playing with lefties. I just naturally love playing with lefties. I think they're really talented. What kind of, from a coach perspective now, not as a player or just from a coaching point of view, what kind of mindset do you kind of encourage to, kind of encouragement do you give to Isaac? What to think and what not to think?
Okay. So that's really interesting you should say that. The difficulty here is that he has coaches at Stoke that tell him to do one thing. Right?
Okay, there's another scenario here.
So I'm a dad, and I come and watch him at the sideline. This is one of the first times he was there, and the scenario was that he was on left wing. I'm watching the game at the side of the pitch here. The game's being filmed. All his games are being filmed, and there's a sound. So he was letting the fullback pass the ball back to the keeper to go back out the other way.
Okay.
So, sorry, no, my mistake. He was letting the ball go down the line, and normally as a winger, so that the right winger got the ball. So normally what you would do is you would say, cut the line off, make him go back to the keeper. So I was saying, Isaac, why do you cut? So in the end, he got mad with me. He went, shh. He went like that to me, and I was really mad with him. So I didn't say anything at the time. On the way back home in the car, I said, son, I was only trying to help you out. He said, yeah, but Dad, they want me to go down the line because they've cut off the ball to the winger. If I go back into the keeper, they'll go out the other side. You know, like Pep Guardiola does, out the other side. So actually, even though I was probably more qualified than his coaches, I was telling him something different to what his coaches were telling him. And this is why we tell parents on the sidelines, let the coaches coach, you watch. And not just our spectators, but you know, the white counterparts, do the same with the coaching from the sidelines. Do this, do that. And they're the worst thing that can happen to the child. So I learnt my lesson.
So you kind of, is it left in pinball? Is it kind of what do I do and what do I not do?
Yeah, I'll let him ask me questions.
Okay, so you're allowing him to come out and then...
So I'll ask him questions and he'll ask me questions.
Engineering his concerns kind of thing, rather than just telling him.
Yeah, as a coach, we should never tell anybody anything. We should make suggestions. What if we did this? What would happen if that happened? Where would you go? So more of a guided discovery rather than a command type of coaching session.
Excellent. And are you? Do you do any work with other coaches? Are you working with coaches to coach?
Yeah, so that's what I did with the FA. I ran level 1s and level 2 courses to coach coaches to coach. I actually got into coaching. PE teacher said, go and do it, Jim, you'll learn lots. But when I was fortunate enough to get picked to play for Pakistan in the World Cup qualifiers for Italia 90, when I went out to Pakistan, our coach was a German guy. And all he got us to do was run around the track. And I went, really? We've got a World Cup qualifier on Friday. This is Monday.
Germany wasn't doing very well at that time, were they really?
Well, at that time they were all right.
Okay, all right.
At that time, I think they were still West Germany.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was West Germany, or one, was it?
There was West Germany and East Germany. But this coach was a gift from Germany to a third world country, which is what Pakistan was. So he's free, but
his methods.
I thought, there's no way. So I said to the lads, I'll do some sessions. So I started doing coaching sessions for the national team. There was no set plays. We've got a World Cup qualifier against UAE on the Friday, and there was nothing happening. So
and this was what, on a Wednesday?
We still on. Well, it was a Tuesday. Nothing happening. So I did some sessions, and I thought I could do this. I quite enjoyed that. So I came back, got all my qualifications. Hardest thing I've ever done, I have to say.
The coaching? The qualification?
The A licence is the hardest thing I've ever done. It was physically demanding. It was 2 weeks down at Lillyshaw, day and night, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Intensive.
And then a test. It's all changed now. Now that's over a 18-month period.
And do you have to kind of renew your licence? Or
Yeah. So every year you've got to do CPDs. You've got to do continuous professional development, and then you get reassessed.
Very good, very good. So that's the coaching side then, really, Jimmy, in terms of allowing the player to come out and not telling him what to do, and kind of engineering pathways, his mindset, moulding, making sure that there's no gaps in his play. That's the encouragement for the kids in terms of mindset.
Yeah.
Moving over to your PSFA.
Yeah.
Can you give us a bit of highlight of what kind of work you're currently doing, and what kind of hope do you have for the future? What kind of hat do you have on when you're at that sideline, and what kind of notes do you make, and what's the criteria for you as a person, and then what's the criteria for the FA kind of thing?
Okay. So if you've got a bald head, it's a good idea to wear lots of different hats, especially when it's cold. But the PSFA stuff is really interesting. So a good friend of mine, Pervez Ali, it's his company. When we talk about football, there's lots of facets to football. I wanted to be around football, so a player, you can be a coach, you can be a manager, you can be a physio, you can be a referee, you can be marketing, all of these, physio, all of these. So there's lots of different areas you can be. So I won't, just go down one channel. Yeah, if we can play and perform, fantastic. But there's going to come an age when you can't play anymore, and you've got to do something else. So if you want to be around football, think about it. And that's why the education bit's important, because you never know what you might be a journalist, you might be writing about it.
How do you continue to add value?
You might be doing what you're doing, presenting, all them sorts of things.
Because the passion's most definitely there.
Absolutely. It's channel. So when I'm watching from the sidelines, I watch the coach.
Can I just, before you do, could you just let our viewers know what PSFA is?
Sorry, my mistake. It's the Professional Scouts Football Association, and it's about qualifying people to become able to spot talent. So the future's all about talent. It's all about what makes one player different to another player. And particularly in today's market, if you can pluck out a gem, potentially that could be worth millions of pounds.
Absolutely.
Millions of pounds.
Millions and maybe millions.
Absolutely. But there'd been no formal qualification for it. The FA was slow. They weren't doing anything about it. So my friend found a gap in the market and came up with the PSFA.
This is Pervez Ali. From my hometown, Accrington.
A really good guy. Somebody who I think you should definitely speak to in the future.
Inshallah.
So I've been out to South Korea to deliver a course only last year, and also to Abu Dhabi to deliver a course.
Sorry, Jimmy, I don't want to stop you because it's very, very interesting, and please do excuse me for stopping you. I just want our viewers to just be up to speed with your works at the moment. So you're a current tutor for PSFA.
Yes.
So you're teaching other scouts as such.
Wannabe scouts.
Yes. In the making.
Yes.
What to look out for.
Yes.
And how to look at what kind of talent and what you're trying to pluck out here.
Yeah.
And that's your live role at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's what I do.
So coming back to the original question, now that our viewers will be up to speed with it, because this is a very, very interesting point and topic, and up to our shows on what we're doing right now, we're reaching out to our viewers and saying, look, here's the scope and here's our reach.
Yeah.
You continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
And continue to nurture our youth. And I'm talking to parents here.
Yeah.
I'm talking to other school teachers. I'm talking to our community, public figures, people in them kind of influential positions. And we'll continue to do what we're doing. Because if a scout is teaching other scouts what to look out for, here it is, guys, here it is, viewers. Inshallah, today we're going to learn from Mr. Jawed Khan himself, his insights of what he's looking for from a personal perspective and then from the FA. So please, Mr. Jawed Khan, do enlighten us.
So, talented young people, footballers, it depends on what you want. So if you're the manager, you said to me, I'm your scout, you said to me, I need a right back. So I'm now going to go and watch right back. So I'll have some history about who good players are. I'll know, and that's the reason why our boys need to move out of our communities, because the scout won't go to your community.
No, he won't. No.
They'll go to this level of football that they know is a good standard. So if you're not there, they'll struggle with that.
Sorry, when you say that, when you go to a club, let's say it's so you're talking all clubs up and down the country right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Let's say West Ham, for example,
Yes.
said they're looking for a centre mid,
Yes.
attacking centre mid.
Yeah.
And you kind of go down there then and you start your process. Where do you kind of hear the first noises from? How do you recognise, okay, he's potentially a player, okay, who gives them first kind of noises off? Do they come from the changing rooms, do they come from the management team, or do they come from the existing team?
So if West Ham wanted a centre midfield player that was an attacking midfield player, they would give me that script, right? Or they would give it to the head scout, and the head scout would say to all the other scouts, we need a centre midfield player that's attacking, good at heading the ball, good at reading the game, got good awareness about them. So they give them a little bit of a script. Then all the scouts would then go out watching games where they know that there's some good players in those positions, and then they'd do a match report on them. So they'd have a look at what they're good at, and then if they've got somebody that they think has ticked all the boxes, they would then send that report back in to the head scout. The head scout would look at all the reports, present them to the manager to say, these are our reports on these players. So then the manager then would say, I'm going to send my assistant. So somebody else would then go and watch them as well, and then they would watch them, and then so there's two different things here. There's one around youth football, which would be slightly different to somebody that we want to buy, that we want to pay money for.
Yeah. So you're talking ready-made and then nurture, aren't you?
That's right. So there's one potential.
Yeah, potential. Yeah.
And then we'll put them in the reserves, and we'll feed them right. We'll make sure they tactically they're more aware.
Your four corners.
Actually, the four corners. Yeah. That's part of your process that you're looking at. You know, what's the mentality like? Are they up for a scrap every time they get kicked? So, you know, do we want that player because they might get sent off? Yeah. So that's how you start to filter players out, and that's how you start to develop players.
Okay, excellent. So from a personal point of view, then,
yeah.
What are you looking at then? I mean, are you looking at the guys? What's important for you? Do you think? I mean, what's the three big things for you in a footballer?
Okay.
Firstly, coming out from a youth.
Yeah.
Or as a buying player.
Okay.
Just a personal kind of.
No. So from a youth, what I'm looking for, what's their engine like? Are they up and down? I like players that are switched on.
Ethic, work rate. Work ethic.
Yes. Even when they've not got the ball, are they reading the game?
Absolutely.
So I like that.
I'm big on that. I like that point.
It's a good trait to have.
I'm very big on that as a matter of fact.
I like talkers. I like players that talk a lot.
Yeah.
Cover him, come back. Yeah. Man on, all them sorts of things. They say a lot about you as a person, how confident you are. So I like that. Those two things. And then the third thing is you can't coach it. And that's to be tenacious. Okay. Tenacity. You know, hunt the ball down.
Yeah, it's just a ego.
You can't coach it. No. My boy's got it in abundance.
Yeah, mashallah. Well, you can see it.
But I've not coached it in. He's just got that. It's something that he's born with. I don't think players are born naturally gifted. I think that comes from coaching, from practice. But the tenacity comes from within.
The drive. So you're personally looking at, if he's lost that ball, how's he going to win it back?
Yeah.
Yeah, is he prepared to make them 20, 30 runs, runs, not get the ball, and then run back to position?
Absolutely.
And how quick does he get him back in position?
Do they want the ball, or are they hiding?
Or they're hiding behind the players.
When you go 1-0 down, are they hiding?
Yeah.
So
because you can hide on the pitch, can't you? There are ways to avoid the ball.
Absolutely.
We all know that. Footballers know that.
Yeah.
And there's like you say, tenacity where 80th minute is 1-1 or 2-2. Then you need your tenacious kind of guys to step up.
Got to do the hard work. So centre forwards, you're a centre forward?
I'm a centre mid. I've started on centre forward first. A lot of my game was in centre forward, but I'm the kind of guys that you're talking about in the communities.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm on the other side of it, and that's the reason why I'm doing this show for the Sports Talk programme, because if I had an opportunity, or if I was kind of directed or guided, just as well as my friends, I think I could have given it a good shot, because I've definitely got that drive, passion, and that's the reason why, you know, I want to take your insight today, and hopefully, inshallah, nobody else will go through that like I've gone through.
So when I was growing up, nobody coached me. I had no coaching. Even the PE teachers didn't coach me. Everything I did was self-taught. Nowadays, the children have got more opportunities ever before. We've got more coaches. So if you've got wannabe coaches out there, the FA have just released a new course. It's called the Playmaker. And anybody 14 plus can do the Playmaker. It's free of charge. Just go onto the FA website and look up Playmaker. And that means you can be an assistant coach. You can help the coach out, the level 1 coach out. Can't do it on your own, help coach out. Then you do the level 1, and it's an online course. From April, it's going to be reintroduced. Used to be practical, now it's an online course. Do the level 1, and then you're on the first rung of the ladders. So Playmaker, level 1, and then it's your choice if you want to go and do the level 2, which is a really good course to do, and then there's the B licence, and then there's the A licence that I've done. But there's opportunities for everybody.
But that, like you said, previously these opportunities wasn't available for us.
Well, they weren't for me, none of them.
No, definitely probably not for you. They were probably available for me, but our kind of network were limited. They may well have been available, but my reach and scope wasn't available. And now you can go on the FA website.
Go on the FA website.
As a playmaker, assistant coach, and you could start to get involved and look at obviously putting some value into the football.
And the FA will help. They prioritise our BAME community and disabilities. So particularly if you're a female Asian looking for coaching, they will assist you. They'll help.
So they're kind of focusing on that, because they have changed the diversity code, haven't they now? So they are focusing on BAMEs kind of more coming through.
That's a priority, and so disability. I up until recently I was an FA mentor as well. So I mentored, you know, you were saying, do I look after coaches? I mentored all the coaches in Manchester.
Okay, and what does that entail? What does that mentoring kind of... Is it...
So if you're a coach, whether you're level 1, 2, 3 or even 4, I've mentored level 4s, it's a lonely place to be. You're on your own, you stick if you're not doing well. You're getting stick if you're doing well because you're not picking somebody's child. So I would come and support you. I'd have a listen to what you have to say.
What you find difficult and...
them sorts of things, but also tactically I might help you out. You know, I might put some sessions on that you might have a think about and do something a little bit different. We might have a talk about the 4 corners, all them sorts of things.
I can see that the 4 corners kind of a biggie, isn't it?
Well, it's a massive one.
I didn't know this before, so it's physicality, psyche, what you're thinking, your
social corner,
your social corner,
and tactical corner,
and then your tactical corner. That's definitely one to watch out for if you're youth coming through. Then that's, I think, an area that you want to kind of focus on. Javed Khan, I'm afraid we are coming towards the end of the show. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm noting myself that we've just skimmed over many topics. I hope that our viewers can kind of take the starting off them topics and start to do research yourself and start to look at them areas, because they have been highlighted. If you was to summarise it, Jimmy, and you're kind of watching the youth, the coaches, our community, British South Asia, even if they don't like football, what kind of encouragement can we do all together as a community? And what kind of how would you like to kind of finish it off with the youth today with that strong, bold statement as such, and just make sure that we as Sports Talk are doing the right things and talking about the right things as well.
Okay, well, what I would say is work hard if you want to be involved in football. It's a fantastic industry to be involved in, whether you're playing or you're involved in one of the 2 of the other areas that we've talked about. Listen to your parents, listen to your coaches, and practice again. Don't give up. It's a fantastic industry to be involved in. I have no regrets. I'm 57-year-old. I still play 3 times a week, and I love it. It's good for your physical activity and your health and well-being.
Jazakallah. Junaid Khan, I would like to take this moment to thank you very, very, very much.
My pleasure.
I'll be watching this myself later and making notes myself. There's a lot I've learnt today, alhamdulillah, and the show it's not long enough to really catch it all. But thank you very, very much. Jazakallah, thanks for all you're doing for the community in and around your area, nationally, up and down the country, what you're doing for coaches. We didn't have a role model before, but I found one in you.
Thank you very much.
I have definitely found one in you, so thank you very much. Thanks for all the encouragement. And you've heard it yourself, viewers, from PSFA to coaching, Pakistan international caps, right the way through to having his son playing for Stoke City at the moment. Ishaq Khan, one to watch out for as well. The R card just doesn't exist. If you got talent, bags of talent, there's absolutely nothing stopping you from breaking into top flight football. We here at Sports Talk, your host Hussain Mahmood, will inshallah stay on top of this and encourage and support you in any way we can. Like, share and comment on our video and media content. We want to know more about you, what's happening in your communities. Do you have a superstar in your community? Let's reach out, let's find out what the struggles are, and let's all work together to bring a brighter future. Thank you very much for all your time and all your views. Do like, share and comment. Thank you very much once again, Jimmy, for your coming onto the show and shedding the light with us. Stay safe. Keep calm, stay safe, and a happy new year. Thank you very much. I'll catch you in the new year. 2021 it is. All the best.